right, you want to lose 30 pounds in 90 days. Yeah, I bet. Who doesn't? You want to do it and you want it to be extremely easy, of course. I can do this, I can make this happen, I can even show you, but the reality is, you know you, and I have a feeling I know you too. But anyway, welcome to Walk Talk Vent. Let's do this.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hey, check it out. Banana smoothie or shake, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be drinking it while we're watching some videos together. Today, we're going to check out Jessie K. Simons. She has a really neat YouTube channel that I think you'll like. You might notice there's some wigs behind her in the background. She does sell wigs. She also does a lot of neat vlogging about being a mom, being a wife, and being an entrepreneur. So if you guys want to check out her channel, please do. I'll link it in the description. And with that being said, I'll hush my big fat mouth and we'll listen to what she has to say.
Hi guys, so today's video is 10 things no one told me about the aftermath of sleeve surgery. I will never be able to take a big gulp of water again. And this sounds kind of silly and like, oh, well, like, why are you complaining? But it is the weirdest thing for me, especially in the industry that I work in, which is the restaurant industry. A lot of times you're running around, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I am so thirsty. And you go and you get water and you like chug a whole cup of water. You can't do that anymore. You can't even take a large gulp or multiple sips of water at once. It physically won't work. I either throw up or it hurts so bad, like going down, I can feel like each little drop of water like going in.
I know you guys are starting to like water. Could you imagine not being able to drink a big gulp of water or even running in the heat and not being able to like just guzzle a bunch of water? That just sounds miserable to me. And one of our viewers was nice enough to confirm that, yeah, believe it or not, you're not really supposed to be drinking too many liquids with your meal, which just seems torturous. But thank you for sharing that.
You buy less food because you don't eat as much, but the food that you buy costs a lot more. So there is an expense factor in this surgery that goes well past just having the surgery, and you need to be prepared for that. You have to take vitamins forever, more vitamins than you normally would have taken before. Protein drinks, like they're great and I love the simplicity of them and I can take them anywhere I want to go, but they're not cheap. Like they're not. So you're talking about $8 for 4 of them. If you can get the bigger containers, they're a little bit cheaper, but you want to buy them in bulk. It saves you money. And also any of that like keto friendly, healthy lifestyle food, Quest pizzas, things like that, low carb options. A lot of those things are double or triple the price of something that you would normally buy. You are going to feel hungry. A lot of doctors, one of the things they really like try to sell people on is, oh, when we do the sleeve surgery, we cut out the part of your stomach that has sensors that make you feel hungry. So you're not going to have a hunger feeling anymore. That's not true. It's 100% not true. And maybe it's true for some people, 100% not true for me. And from what I've gathered by asking other people in some support groups that I'm in who've had the same surgery, for the majority of people, it's not true. The first couple months when you're still healing, you don't feel hungry. You don't want to eat. Not even the first few months, but especially like the first 2 months for sure for me. I didn't feel hungry. I didn't want to eat. I was still in pain. Food hurt. So you kind of start to associate food with like hurting your stomach. So you're not eating as much. But once that all starts healing and settling down and your metabolism and everything starts kicking in, you're going to feel hungry. There's such thing as head hunger, which is a mental state of feeling hungry. And then there's just legit hunger. Some days I'm not hungry at all and I have to force myself to get my protein in and force myself to get my water in and everything. Other days I'm hungry nonstop all day long. Doesn't matter how much protein I have, doesn't matter what I eat. Nothing makes me not feel hungry. And I get those hunger pains that they say you're not going to have anymore.
Sometimes hunger pangs will make you really, really eat. There was something she said there that really caught my attention, and it probably slipped right by you. She said one of the things the doctors really sell you on is that you won't feel hunger anymore. I hope she didn't mean it that way, and I hope doctors aren't trying to sell people on this.
everything gets smaller. When I say everything, I mean your feet get smaller, your hands get smaller, which means your fingers get smaller, everything gets smaller. So I have lost 2 shoe sizes. I was a size 11 and I am now a 9. So make sure that you know that, keep that in mind. Your feet will shrink. The other thing is your fingers shrink. So my wedding ring doesn't fit anymore.
When she goes to the bar. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I don't know how I let this part in. This sounds like a good thing. Your hands and your feet shrink. Pretend like I didn't put that in here. That sounds like a good thing.
I have bought like guards, which they do sell on Amazon and places like that, but those only work for so long because they only can make them so big. And I've been wearing the guards for this whole time, and just this last 2 months, like my ring is still way too big for me, and I pretty much can't wear it anymore. Your world still revolves around food. So you think, oh, I'm going to have this surgery and I'm going to be able to do more activities and I'm going to do more things, which is true. And food will become this afterthought. It's not going to be as important to me as it was when I was, 200, 300 plus pounds. That's absolutely not true. So food is even more important now than it was before. It's just a different type of important, and it's a mind shift you have to kind of make. So food, I probably think about food all day long, between feeling hungry, which I'm not supposed to feel, but also just because I have to calculate everything. I'm trying to make sure I get enough water in. I'm trying to make sure I get enough protein in. I'm trying to make sure I don't get too much sugar, don't get too much carbs. I'm counting my calories. So I'm eating, and then I'm thinking about what I'm going to be eating in 2 hours. And it's weird, and you have to kind of be ready for that, because food is still going to be super important. It's just going to be important to you in a completely different way.
I want to share something with you real quick. 3 things real quick. Yes, you're not crazy. That does look like a couple of Cousin It's in the background. Was it Cousin It? If it was Cousin It, confirm that for me in the comments, because it was either Cousin It or something with, where it was just like the hair. It looks like Cousin It's, her wigs. The second thing I wanted to tell you guys is that if you look at her nose, she's got the cute nose rings that girls used to wear back in the day. And then she's got that new style of, I don't know, what would you call that? A ring for a bull? Is that a cow? I don't like that. You guys should get rid of that one. I like the cute one. I like the cute one. And the third thing I was going to mention, I forgot about. So you guys lucky.
Super important. It's just going to be important to you in a completely different way. This is not easy. Like, anybody who tells you that you took the easy way out or you're doing it the easy way has no idea what they're talking about. And you can tell them that. You can tell them I said that, because they don't know what they're talking about. This is the biggest one to me, I feel like, because this is a tool. That's all this is. If you don't follow the diet nutritionist tells you to follow, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you will not lose weight. You will gain weight back. I know people who have had the surgery who have been super successful. I also know people who have had the surgery who have not been successful. And a lot of that has to do with just not following the diets and the restrictions that we're supposed to follow. You have to stick to the plan. You have to work the plan. If you don't, you're not going to see the results that you're hoping you're going to see. You will more than likely need other surgeries after this surgery. And what that means is a high majority of people have to have their gallbladder removed after this surgery. I know there's some scientific reasons behind it. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to throw all that out there, but the majority of people have to have it removed. A lot of times you're going to need and or want to have other skin removal surgeries. So keep that in mind, because those are also added expenses, added recovery time, something you have to think about. Like, I have to save for those things. You're going to have stalls. Like I said earlier, for the last month and a half, I've been at like the same weight. I've had so many stalls. Almost every single person has a stall at 3 weeks because that's when your body is like officially in healing mode from the surgery. And then you're going to have stalls throughout that. It's going to happen. It's totally normal. It's totally fine. A lot of times I just switch my diet up a little bit, increase my water or increase my protein or something like that, and it'll kick me out of it. But there have been times when I've been on a stall for weeks. And that happens. Don't get discouraged. Just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing and you'll start losing again. It'll happen.
Hey, listen, we start our plan here with a 4 or 5 week stall. When she says stall, that's something that a lot of people talk about when they talk about weight loss surgery. But a stall is just life, right? Sometimes we plateau. On this plan, you're going to plateau for the first 5 or 6 weeks, right? You're just going to be maintaining with all this work that you're adding, but it gets easier. What she's talking about is very difficult. So if you're contemplating going ahead with the surgery, just know that there's going to be a lot of hard work ahead regardless. So why don't you do the easiest weight loss ever with us? And you'll notice in the comments that you have a lot of brothers and sisters around the world that are doing it with us. So with that being said, check out Jesse K. Simons's channel. Again, I'll link it in the description. And go grab your shoes. Let's go for a walk.
Jesus.
Hi guys, it's Jesse. Listen, we're finishing up our 3rd week and I'm so proud of us all. We have 4 rules around here. Number 1, we walk every day. Number 2, we drink water every day. And number 3, we avoid sugar every day. And perhaps the most important rule is rule number 4, which states if you break one of the first 3 rules that I already mentioned, you simply obey the other 2. I call it the 2/3 rule. I can do this, you can do this, we can do this. So I say, let's do this.
Good morning. Good morning. I am so excited today, guys. Yesterday, I weighed myself, and you guys should be seeing the footage today. Now, keep in mind, I'm always a couple days ahead of you as far as my video recording compared to when you see it. And I finally had that little drop, guys. I went from 185, 186 down to 182. And I'll be honest with you, whatever weight you see me as, I'm 2 pounds less than that because of the camera. I figured out that the camera with the stick that I have it attached to is basically 2 pounds. I joke that it's 20. Let me joke. Listen to me. Okay? But yeah, so what that really means, guys, is I was a legit 184, 185 when I started, and now, minus the camera, I'm exactly 180. So, believe it or not, I've lost about 4 pounds, but on video, I think it looks closer to like I lost maybe 2 or whatever, but either way is right in the zone where you're supposed to be, or where I'm supposed to be. And this is where I want to give you guys a warning sign. If I lose 2 pounds and you lose 0 pounds, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. My 2 pounds could have just been I have less water in my body than I did the day before, okay? You're really going to start to see stuff not even at month 1, but at month 2, okay? But let's discuss my 2 or 3 pounds that I may have lost. I'm doing a lot of extra credit, okay? You're only seeing videos based on one of my 2 daily walks. I'm not holding up the camera for both of them, okay? I do a lot of extra credit walks to the grocery store on the daily, okay? I am sugar free, meaning that the only sugar that I really have on the consistent basis is the banana, okay? And I have that blended, so even when I get that, it's like a dull banana. But I'm gonna tell you, because I've already been without sugar for quite a few days, the banana blended drink that I have, it tastes like it has not one, but about 2 or 3 teaspoons of sugar in it. I mean, I'm telling you, it tastes like a regular smoothie, just no different than if I added sugar to it. It tastes that good. So I have a contest with no reward that I want you guys to consider. Because I've been asking you guys to take oatmeal in, and I've been asking you guys to try this smoothie and to eat some carrots and celery and ranch rather than potato chips. But I haven't heard one comment about people doing that. I've heard comments about going from regular cream cheese to whipped, right? Which is baby steps, and that's great. I've heard comments about 10,000 steps, right? Which means that you're starting obviously at a smaller amount and you've worked your way up there. Again, that's great, right? I've also heard some people say, Jesse, this is my 8th day with you in a row. Let's keep this going. So I'm assuming that they're probably pushing, day 12 or 13 now, right? And that's what I want you to consider. Do you want this challenge to be something that you take on with me? Or do you want this challenge to be something where you just baby step into it? Because there is no wrong answer there, guys. Not everybody wants to lose 30 pounds in 90 days. Some people just want to start a walking routine, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's great, And if you guys want to take it a step further and add more water to your diet without eliminating the Coca-Colas completely, again, that's great. All you have to do is change your thinking from 30 pounds in 90 days to more like 15 pounds over 365 days. And some people might say, oh God, that doesn't sound very appealing, but it is super appealing because we're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. Okay? We're gonna keep this bad boy going. And if you lose 15 pounds in a year, that sure beats the 5 to 7 pounds that the average person puts on. Because you gotta remember, every year, whether you like it or not, there's a handful of birthdays and special occasions. There is Christmas and Thanksgiving. And at the end of each year, the average person probably puts on 5 to 7 pounds just for the holidays. So if you're putting yourself on a clip where you're on pace to lose 15 pounds this year, guys, that's a beautiful thing. Remember, this is not a 90-day challenge from the standpoint of, I don't intend for it to be a 90-day channel. It's gonna be a forever channel. I just want you guys to see how powerful it can be, and that's why I'm being the guinea pig. So again, if you're not seeing losses, you have to ask yourself, am I really drinking nothing but water? Am I really trying to wean off this sugar? Am I really trying this, that, and the other? Because through baby steps, we want you to continuously add. I think it would be time to start adding a daily walk somewhere that you normally don't go. For example, with me, I have a daily walk where I go up to the grocery store in addition to the walk I already do. I haven't talked about this in weeks, but if your job starts at 7:30 in the morning, walk to work. Well, wait a minute, Jesse, I work 10 miles that way. Yeah, I know you do. Take a walk for a half hour before you get in your car and go to work. Yay! We can do it. So again, if you saw that I've lost a couple of pounds, which that's all it is, a couple of pounds, and maybe you haven't, that doesn't mean that this week you won't. okay? If you're doing all the right things, you're gonna start losing weight. But again, I get this question a lot. Jesse, how long? About 45 to 60 days, okay? But once that starts happening, it keeps going, you know? And it don't stop, and it won't stop. We used to walk as a species, and I hate that word because I see us ahead of the animals. I'm a child of God, right? As a species, as a people, I should say, we have been walking forever. It's only the recent people that have stopped walking. Because think about this, guys, if you take away our cell phones and go back to the 1980s or 1990s, everybody was outside walking and doing things. It's these darn cell phones that have us enslaved to them. Again, I don't want you guys staring into cell phones endlessly all day. But if you're staring into a cell phone now, don't you dare turn it off. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Yeah. Taking a little bit of a weird route today, but it's not a weird route at all. I've taken every route you've ever seen about 4,000 times. All right, that's exaggerating a little, but man, I've really clocked some miles. If we, meaning you and I, walk together every day, and if I walk about 1.5 miles for every walk that I record with you, then unless my math deceives me, that means after 90 days, we're gonna walk in excess of 100 miles together. That's kind of cool. That's kind of exciting, don't you think? Oh gosh, a couple kids being dropped off, and I don't want to get kids on the video. But again, this is the beginning part of school. I don't see any groups of kids walking. And don't get me wrong, I have seen some kids walking through my morning walks, but it's so weird, like, to only see 10 or 15 kids walking over the course of months. That is bizarre. I used to see packs of 20 kids walking to school here, and 10 kids here, and 5 kids here. And I'm not crazy. I know that used to happen. I used to walk to school when I was little, and so did you guys. So here's our philosophy for people that are new. You're allowed to drink whatever you want, whenever you want, because you're now a water drinker. You're allowed to ditch a walk whenever you want, because now you're a walker. Yay! And you're allowed to have a piece of cake or a Snicker bar or a soda whenever you want, because now you avoid sugar every day. Wow, so let me get this straight, Jesse. I'm walking every day, I'm avoiding sugar, which sucks, and I drink nothing but water, which is pretty tasteless. That doesn't sound like the easiest exercise and diet plan ever, yet deep down, it must be, because people keep thumbsing up and leaving comments saying that they're with me. It is the easiest. What's shocking to you is it's hard for you to put into your head that something that can be done every day could even be considered the easiest thing. But it can. I have another scenario for you guys. Today I woke up a little late, and I blame you guys. I'm up doing video editing. Do you think this is easy? Do you know how hard it is holding this stick? Make sure you tell all your friends about the show. So why do I mention that? Because today is one of those days where instead of a 30-minute walk before work, it's going to be a little closer to 25, but it shouldn't affect your walk, because I have a couple of little reactions that I'm going to do, you know, with the people that are going through either weight loss medications or weight loss surgery. So it'll still equate to a good half hour, 35 minutes for you. So I want you guys to really, at the end of each walk, ask yourself, do I have another 15 minutes in me? Can I do another quick little extra? because it's those quick little extras that are going to equate to that 0.5 pounds. And by the way, right now, I'm weighing myself on a scale about once every week. I don't weigh myself every day. You're never going to catch me saying I weigh, 180.6 pounds. When you're doing that 0.6 or that 0.2 or that 0.8, that's a sign that you're weighing yourself a little too much, right? If you stare at the clock when you're on detention at school, the clock goes slower, right? But if you're out and about having fun, the clock goes faster, okay? When I'm on my walks, they go by so quick for me, whether I'm talking to you guys or not, that I can't help but wonder, did I do something weird to the time mechanism? How is this a half an hour already done, But it is. You can get so used to taking your walk. You take different routes. If you go early in the morning, it's nice and cool where you can wear a jacket, right? As we get a little bit closer to the summer, you're going to probably see me in the nude. It's so hot. It is so hot. Not right now, but in the summers in Arizona, I'm sure you guys know it's hot out here. But that doesn't mean that your state's any easier. Your state might be 5 or 6 degrees cooler than Arizona during the summer, but if it's got a mountain of humidity, that's no fun. I went to Rockford, Illinois to visit the in-laws in the year 2000, or it might have been in the year 2001. Either way, right around there. And I was sweating my you-know-what off. And I asked him, I go, God, I'm from Arizona. Why am I sweating so much? Is it 100? It must be 100 degrees out here, huh? And I was shocked. They go, no, it's 77. 77, 78 degrees, right? And I was sweating like crazy. And they go, yeah, what do you think of the humidity? And I'm like, this is miserable. So whether you're on 110 in Arizona and miserable, or 99 in Illinois, and then with the humidity, you're miserable, it all works out to the same thing. There's a million excuses why you don't take your walk. Can you get over the million excuses? I'm not a big fan of steps, because steps inside of a building, you could be doing a lot of step type exercises and step aerobics and stuff. There's a lot of classes and a lot of YouTube videos on that. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but if that's the only alternative, do it. Do it. Walk in place if you have to in your air-conditioned home. Don't give up on our plan. And remember, our plan is not 90 days. You're not going to see me take the channel to 90 days and then just stop, okay? Now, if my channel ever got stricken off, hopefully I'll develop another channel where maybe it's just walking, maybe. I really just want to do walk, talk, vent, though. But if I ever did do it, almost fell there. If I ever did do a channel that was strictly walking, I would definitely let you guys know about it. But I really like doing the reaction to the various videos and stuff. But not everybody wants you to react to their content and stuff. And because I don't consider my channel to be a reaction channel, I consider it to be a walking channel, I might have to diversify the two. With that being said, is anybody eating any oatmeal? If so, can you put it in the comments? Is anybody trying to step down from Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks to Corn Flakes and Cheerios? If that's happening, please let me know. If anybody has ditched the Starbucks and the soda for water, please let me know. And if you haven't done any of the above, but you're walking with me every day, then again, just adjust your goal. Your goal should not be 30 pounds in 90 days. Your goal should not be 30 pounds in 90 days if you're trying to get there by walking alone. You have to adjust your food intake a little bit. I saw a video yesterday by this one person that I'm going to be sharing with you guys here. And one thing that one of her videos said is you're not eating enough to lose weight. You know, sometimes we have different situations where you might try to lose weight so much and your body holds it. That's a temporary thing. You know, the reason the news and them and different media sources tell you to avoid just trying to, you know, starve yourself and quit stuff cold turkey is because your body will have a reaction. And one of the reactions that it has when it comes to weight loss is sometimes that weight just holds on, right? But that's not a permanent thing. That's a temporary thing. In other words, you could ditch breakfast for a week. You might not have any type of positive weight gain from that, right? Or weight loss, excuse me. But if you did that for a year, or if you did that for the rest of your life, where instead of 3 meals a day, you just had 2, number one, you wouldn't starve to death, right? Number two, you still have snacks here and there, right? So it's not like you're totally without. And the reality is, if you eat 2 meals every day, you're going to naturally be smaller than you eating 3 meals every day. That you don't need a scientist or a doctor to tell you that, okay? I don't believe in any such thing as you're not eating enough to lose weight. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a doctor or a kinesiologist out there that'll tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think if I only ate 2 meals a day for my whole life, I'd probably naturally be about 160 instead of 180 right now. So, just to let you know, the key to losing weight is to slowly but surely eat less than you were. Good morning. Hi, how are you? He's cute. It's my neighbor again. He walks every single day with his dog. His dog has a tendency to want to stop every other yard and sniff, right? And sometimes your dog might be the same way. If you can train your dog that, hey, we're going to take a walk without any interruptions, and then when we're done with our 20 or 30 minutes, then I'll let you sniff. You know, that might work. If your dog just naturally loves to sniff, maybe take him for a little walk so he can go to the bathroom, bring him back to the house, and then just do a little extra credit walk by yourself, you know? I don't want you to have any excuses. So again, when you go to work, take a walk before you go to work. When you get back from work, take a little walk, okay? When the kids get off school, why don't you walk up to the school, meet them, and walk home? Start a walking tradition. And during that walk, ask them how their day went. And then when you get home, go back to ignoring the kids. Go watch your Scooby-Doo. I'm joking on that, but at the same time, people in my age group, we were babysat by Scooby-Doo cartoons, if you remember, right? We would come home with keys tied around our neck. Do you guys remember the latchkey kids we were? We would have keys wrapped around our neck, and we would go home to the babysitter, which was cartoons. Just the way it was. A lot of people did it. We didn't see it as some evil, like, oh my God, the child's being neglected. We didn't see it like that. Because sometimes both your parents had to work. Or in the 80s and 90s, that's when this phenomena started where we had single parent households like crazy, right? I'll never forget when I was in kindergarten, so we're talking 4 and 5 years old. I'll never forget parent-teacher night. I'm there with my mom, right? And I'll never forget almost every other kid had their mom and dad there. By that point, my dad wasn't in the picture. He was never in my life, guys. My dad never in my life. Like one time I saw him. That's weird, but it's true. By the time I graduated high school, damn near all my friends' parents were divorced. So at least I grew up and I was used to having just my mom. A lot of you guys had to go through that hell of seeing your parents break up. And that probably affected you. And if you did have a bad time when that was happening, maybe you could leave a word or two in the comments, you know? But anyway, I'm pumped that I've lost a couple pounds because I look at it as a tipping point. You know, I have finally reached that point where my body has released a little bit of weight. Again, it could be water and it could be truly non-existent. And if it is for you, no big deal. But I'm ready to go to work and I hope you are. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you tomorrow.